tie your financial well-being with your activity, and then you overdo your activity because it takes a lot of activity, because you're looking for love and finances all in the wrong places. So instead of looking for alignment, you're trying to make it happen through action, and then you get overactive, and then you try to get more from your action than you can, which makes you tired and overwhelmed, and that's what makes it feel like bondage. And then you're so glad to give that burden up. The problem is, if your burden is tied to your belief of the flow of money, now the flow of money often dries up with the burden, and so then later you'll say, well, just give me a little more burden. And so what we're getting at here is you've got to see abundance and money and financial well-being as it really is. You've got to see it. You've got to see it like the air you breathe. It's there for you. You've got to understand that not only is your abundance already in your vibrational escrow, but a very comfortable, viable means for it is there too. Now consider this. Let's say we're not just speaking for you, but for a lot of people. Let's say that you've been working harder than you want to for your money. And while you are grateful for the money and for the well-being that it provides, you can feel that there's something out of whack because life is harder than you want it to be. So in that, let's call it a struggle, even though it's a bit of an exaggeration, because it wears on you over time. In that never-ending sort of pressing struggle, you're not only asking for more money, but you're asking for more ease, and you're asking for more fun, and you're asking for more feeling of fulfillment. You're asking for more abundance, but you're asking for more abundance in ease. So in all of that struggle, even though most of you beat the drum that won't let it in that beating the drum of what you don't want, the good news is you've put some really wonderful things in vibrational escrow. And what we're getting at is not only is the end that you're seeking, meaning a big pile of money available to you, but the means to the end has also been queued up by you in your vibrational escrow, because you've explained to the universe bit by bit the things you don't like to do and the things that you do like to do. In other words, I want more money, but I don't want to beat people out of money so that I can have money. In other words, there's all kinds of things that your life experience has caused you to put into your vibrational escrow. And that vibrational escrow, so the point that we're making is, not only does this vibrational escrow contain the experiences that you want and the state of beings that you want and the state of financial well-being that you want, but it also contains a viable path that will unfold for you to lead you to all of that. But you've got to find somehow, some way to now become more and more every day, a vibrational match to what's in this vibrational escrow. So when you talk about the feeling of freedom, and what you really mean is the release of bondage, when you speak of being grateful for letting go of unwanted rather than appreciative of, feel the difference in the energies of that. When you do that, then you're not a vibrational match to what's in your vibrational escrow. So it sounds like nitpicking, but it isn't. It is an essential understanding. How can I be a vibrational match to what's in my vibrational escrow? And the short version is, you have to feel good when you think the thought you're thinking. That's how you be a vibrational match. So any thought of shortage wouldn't be, or any thought of doing something I don't want to do in order to get something I do want wouldn't be.
Right. Can you give me words?
I've lived a lot of life, and through the life I've lived, I have built a magnificent vibrational escrow. And sometimes, from wherever I stand, I get a glimpse of what's in that vibrational escrow. And sometimes I can see what's there by knowing that what I'm looking at is the opposite of it. And sometimes I can see what's there because I'm knowing what I'm looking at is an exact equivalent of it. When I saw the beauty of the Serengeti, I knew that in that beautiful moment and all that I felt, I was a perfect vibrational match to what's in my vibrational escrow. And then when I had a subsequent thought, I'd like to do more of this, but I can't afford it, I could feel that I was in opposition to that thought. So it's a matter, so I understand, we're giving you words, I understand that in order to be a vibrational match to what's in my vibrational escrow, I just have to feel around, and I'll be able to feel through the resonance of my emotions whether I'm finding something that matches or whether I'm fixated on something that doesn't match. We can feel your powerful desire, and often accomplishment of being a vibrational match to what you're seeking. But you still are, like so many people, realistic in your awareness of where you are. And we just want to say, if you could get it that we're not trying to get you to find some way, whether it's a physical diagnosis or an improved physical condition, whether it's a releasing of something that you don't want or an achieving of what you do want, we're not trying to get you through this conversation or any conversation to a place where you can say, now I get it, and now this action will make it so. We are not ever trying to guide you to the appropriate action or to the effective action. We are only, ever, and always trying to guide you to an alignment of energies, which just means a thought lineup. So if we could convince you that all of the effort that we're trying to inspire from you is just about telling a story that feels good while you tell it. We're not trying to guide you to an occupation. We're not trying to guide you to a windfall. We're not trying to guide you to the winning lottery ticket. We're not trying to guide you to an inheritance. We're not trying to guide you to any specific action, because that's already taken care of in your vibrational escrow, because you've already explained who you are and in what way you would like the money to flow. You've already explained all of that. It's already in your vibrational escrow. We're just trying to guide you to the key to your vibrational escrow. We're just trying to guide you to the pleasant thoughts. So every moment that you spend basking in the deliciousness of that moment on the Serengeti is such an exercise. Every time you flash back on a conversation you were having with someone you loved, where you loved more and they loved more because of the moment in time that you were sharing, you're using that as your excuse to line up. What you're really looking for is more excuses to tune your receiver to this frequency of your vibrational escrow. It has nothing to do with what you do, and has everything to do with how you feel. Everything to do with how you feel. So you turn on the television and you get a strong dose of reality. Does that help you tune to what's going on over here?
No.
You look through a photo album and you see pleasant memories. Does that help you? Yes, it does. You hear from someone that this was an uplifting movie, and you go and your heart soars. Was that beneficial? Yes, indeed it was. Just don't ask the world to give it to you. And you know, we think that the deep-seated resentment that almost every one of you has, and you do, you don't want to admit that you are resentful, but you are. Do you know why you feel resentment? Because you know how good it is and you're not letting yourself at it. And at deep levels, you can't believe that you do that to yourself, so it must be George Bush's fault. Or it must be the economy, or it must be my parents, or it must be that belief that was hammered into me, or it must be my inadequacy, or it must be your inadequacy. So you spend your life trying to figure out how to justify the resentment that you feel that is so uncomfortable because you know it should be better, and we just want you to find thoughts that feel like the better that you know it should be. That's all. Just find thoughts that feel like the better that it should be. Just find thoughts that feel like the better it should be. Nothing to do, only things to think. Nothing to do, only things to say. Nothing. And why do you do it and say it and think it? Because it feels better in the doing it and thinking it and saying it. That's all. Really? I just have to feel better? That's it? Feeling better matches you up with this. Do you believe in this?
Yes.
Do you believe the vibrational escrow is there? You got it. You got to look around. Look around at this planet. You're brilliant, you're beautiful, you're magnificent, but you have not figured out how to scrape enough dirt together to launch into orbit for another planet. In other words, you gotta know there's something bigger going on. You gotta know that there are universal forces happen. You gotta know the power of thought. You've got to know that that broader perspective exists. You've gotta know that. You do know that. And when you separate from it, you don't feel so good. So we're just saying, you can line up with good feeling thoughts much more easily than you think. And when you do, things shift. Think a different thought just because you want to feel good. Find a different emotion, which means you've shifted your vibration. And your relationship with your vibrational escrow will shift enough that different people will walk into your experience. Different experiences, different amounts of money, different experiences, different everything. Shift your vibration the slightest little bit, and everything in your experience shifts to match the difference. Because the indicator always shifts when the vibration shifts. So, do you need validation to shift it? What more excuse do you need? This is the thing that the source within you is saying. You don't have to justify your good thought. Just find a good thought. I don't think I should think a good thought. There's so many people suffering. I don't think I should think happy thoughts as long as there are sad people. And we say, you can't get poor enough to help poor people become prosperous, or sick enough to help sick people become well. You cannot become confused enough to bring clarity to the world. You can only lead through the clarity of your example. You got to get inside your vibrational escrow. It's a vibrational escrow. Get in there and feel what's in there. And when you get in there, once you get in there, it will all start dawning on you. And you will begin to remember who you are. Not who you were before you were born, who you have become since you've been here. Do you believe that there is, in fact, a vibrational, pre-paving version of you? What do you think deja vu is? Deja vu is the feeling that you're now living something that you knew was coming. In other words, there is a version of you that is already fully blown, ready to manifest, that is realer than the real that you know is real. All you got to do is find some thoughts that feel good and let the universe show you the details of it. Don't you really want to see the vibrational indicator of your vibrational escrow appearing in your life experience?
Yes.
Don't you want to have a moment of such brilliance that you know you're there?
Yes.
Don't you want to have a moment of such humor that you know you're there? Don't you want your timing to just be so very, 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 very good that you know you're there? Yes. Don't you want that feeling of elation? Don't you want to look at the waitress in Cracker Barrel and love her so much that you want to take her home with you?
Yes.
Don't you want to be who you really are? All you got to do is reach for some thoughts that feel better. Some thoughts that feel better. Just got to train yourself into alignment with who you are. Little by little by little by little by little by little.